So in this recording, I want to answer the question, how do I know this coaching is for me? How do I know that this is going to be what I need for my particular issues or what I'm faced with? So I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview, and then I'll tell you a little bit about some of the things that clients have come to me with, and where we've seen massive change for them. So the first thing I would say is that for this coaching to be really effective for you, you've got to be at a point in your life or in your career where you're really prepared to show up differently. So just kind of feeling vaguely that, you're not really sure that things are going how you want to probably isn't enough to make you ready to invest in this kind of coaching. But feeling like maybe you've made a lot of progress, but you know that there's more, or you're feeling stuck over something, or that maybe you haven't made the progress you want, but you just know that you've got the potential, that there's something in you kind of waiting to be unleashed, perhaps we could put it that way, is a good starting point. Or maybe you're just up against something that you really have had enough of and you're ready to do what it takes to get rid of it. Now, that's not to say that this coaching is hard work. It's not hard work. The coaching I do is about insight and about seeing things differently. So it's not about grinding and doing lots and really kind of forcing anything, but being ready for change is a prerequisite. So what are some of the things that people I've worked with have been up against? Well, obviously, I've got two main programs. One is the Authentic Leadership Formula, and the other is Start With You. Start With You is really for anybody who's up against an issue in their life, or wants to make changes. But the Authentic Leadership Program is more specifically for leaders who are technically expert, who know their job, and have enormous skill, but maybe that they're not experiencing the same success within their team, with their people leadership, with communication, with a sense of shared values, struggling maybe to unite people. Maybe sometimes in medical fields there are wider issues of culture within your department or within the whole organization that you want to do something about. And this is what I mean about sometimes those things look like really big things to address, and often people are going, it's just too difficult, I can't do anything about it. And so really you need to be at the point where you're going, what if there is something I can do about it? Because that's the premise that I come from in all my coaching, is that there's always something that you can do. That's why one of the programs is called Start With You. We always start within ourselves. A change within is what makes a difference on the outside. So some of the things that I've worked with clients around are, well, let's think about medical professionals first. People who've been investigated in some way, so maybe a GMC investigation, or are facing a tribunal, perhaps because of complaints. I might be from a patient, or from a trainee or a colleague. And so often those people are stressed, losing sleep, just massively overthinking about the whole thing, really anxious about the future, going over and over the past, finding it really difficult to represent themselves because of the pressure and the self-doubt. So coaching can really help with all those things, as we help you to kind of take a more objective view. And so people have said to my clients things like, oh, you're just showing up so much better, you just are so much better able to present yourself in these difficult situations. And similarly, when people are starting to feel that they're burning out. Now, so often I hear about people who've, were burning out and did burn out, but didn't ask for any help, didn't feel they could reach out, didn't know where to reach out for help. So just being able to identify some of the first signs of burnout, and you'll find other information and videos about that on my website. But noticing those things and just starting to kind of open up that conversation early on can just be hugely impactful in staving off future issues. Because, you know, burnout so often looks to people as if it's purely because of the weight of the job and too many things and too little time. And of course, that's true for so many people, that is the reality. But the experience of burnout often is a result of then the mental burden of not being able to share that, of feeling like you should be able to handle this, of feeling like everybody else is handling it, of what will happen if I can't handle it, what does it mean about me, all of those things. So, you know, taking a step back and actually just coming alongside a coach such as myself, you know, this is this advantage again of being outside of these professions, is the total ability to trust the confidentiality of the process. So that if you're struggling with people in your team or within your department that you can't talk to, you feel you can't talk to about it, then that's a real plus to working with a coach outside of that, to be able to address those things in a totally fresh way outside of your working environment. So, or it could be somebody who's taken on leadership roles and just not really felt equipped to know how to lead the team, despite having everything they need to do that, having the skills, but perhaps not having the confidence to do that. And it's amazing how quickly I've seen things change for people when we just start to explore what leadership really means, and that you can tap into your own intuition and instincts to complement, to supercharge your knowledge and your experience and your actual physical expertise. When those two things come together, that's when things really start to move, which is so exciting to see. So in business, I've worked with leaders and senior leaders, for example, a CEO of a large organization who was just feeling that he wasn't showing up how he wanted to, that he wasn't able to speak up as he wanted to in meetings, that his relationships with his colleagues weren't perhaps just weren't as collaborative, as warm, as connected as he felt would be helpful. And again, quite soon in our coaching, things really started to change, and he was showing up completely differently, and of course then getting better results for those in his team and for himself, and promotion and such like. So this shift inside of us can make huge differences within our organization, within our career. So other examples of working with business people, I've worked with business owners who are just struggling to kind of keep the whole thing together. Because again, often you become a business owner because you're expert in a certain skill set, but the people leadership bit might not be your natural suit. So working on that, finding the parts of you that can help you to be a better leader, to come alongside your practical expertise, can be really, really helpful. The other thing that's really worth saying is that often I work with senior leaders who have got to a position where they really feel like they are expected to know everything by now, or to be good at everything by now. And it can be hard if you're in that position to admit that maybe you don't know everything, that there are things that you still need to develop, and to have the confidence to say what you know and what you don't know, to ask for the support of others, and to be able to really unite people and feel like you're a collegiate and collaborative team, rather than feeling like you need to be the person that's on the top, kind of being the expert. So, you know, all of this again begins from inside of us, from seeing something about where our inner security comes from, so that we can then ask those questions and reveal those vulnerabilities that, you know, so many people are terrified of actually showing, but in fact are such a strong cohesive force in bringing a team together. When we take ourselves off a pedestal, then other people are able to do that too, and often that helps us to bring out the best in other people. So I've also worked with people who want to work really just on more personal issues. So often that's around personal relationships, family relationships, and even, you know, whichever part of the program, whichever program you take part in, the shifts in you will impact all different areas of your life. So even if you're doing the Authentic Leadership Formula, insights there will translate across into your personal life. And I've worked with clients who've said to me, oh, my relationship with my partner is better than it's ever been, even though we've only been talking about career and we've barely even mentioned this person's partner. So it's amazing how all boats really do rise with the tide of greater understanding and greater recognition of how our minds and other people's actually work, because that's what underpins all of this work. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. And if you've got any questions, then please do reach out and just let me know, and I'll be happy to help you.